Hello, cyclists of the world, cyclists of, I'm not doing, here are those legs. Not bad legs. I likened my upgrade of my body to, amazing. I'm comparing it to the upgrade of a car. I said, I'm going to upgrade this particular engine from, say, like a Ford Focus to a Ford Focus RS or to an ST, and we're almost at RS level, which is quite good. Bit of a recap of the years, the cycling year so far. We've done 1,300 miles. We're stepping up the mileage. If you look at I can't be bothered editing all this anymore, because what I've done is I had these ideas of doing like a master's level cyclist, a good master's level cyclist, trying to be awesome, right? That's the thing. I was going to vlog, but I'm like, no one's really catching on to it. So I'm going, why am I bothering with showcasing all my fantastic editing skills for an audience that doesn't give a fuck and that just wants to care about tech, boring, advertising friendly, bland shit. So I make the content I want to make, but what's the point in making content that I want to make and putting all this care and effort into it, and music and lovely, appropriate music and beautifully edited, taking all the gold moments of my commentary, my live social media commentary of all my training and everything, and presenting it in one big lovely package with a lovely bow on top to an audience that doesn't seem to give a fuck, because it's appeal to authority, isn't it? It's all this kind of, unless you're like a top guy, no one listens to anything you say, so it's appeal to authority. But I was saying this to a friend, I said, say I did get a result in one of these gravel events, it'd be like, then folk would start listening to me, but by then I wouldn't give a fuck anymore. It'd be like, right, been there, done that, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve, time to move on to something else. But anyway, back to the training, right? If you look at the graph of my Strava, right, let's have a wee, the graph of the Strava. We're up to 275 miles last week, and it was a very tough 275 miles. We overextended ourselves. We did a 113-mile bike ride on the back of an 80-miler the day before, and a really the toughest of my entire life, I would say, turbo session, old school turbo trainer like Graham Reed tells you to do. Set up the flywheel so it's on its toughest resistance, and you just take the cable off, you just leave it on its toughest resistance. That's where we're at. We used that, did some hard strength and intervals on the Wednesday, and didn't even have a day off during the week. And then we did 80 on the Saturday, and a full working week doing a physical job, and the Sunday we did 130 miles, so we're overextending ourselves. So what happened was, first 70 miles of that 113-mile bike ride we did with no food or drink, and then I'm starting to feel like flagging. Normally, as I've said before, I wouldn't really struggle with doing 70 miles on no food or drink, because I'm a well-trained athlete and my body is good at burning fat because I've trained that aspect of the things. So normally that wouldn't be difficult, but I could feel intuitively that, yeah, energy's flagging. I'm a bit exhausted from all the training, the accumulation of all the hard miles. But we went on anyway, and that proved to be quite difficult because we got to Newton Stewart and we still had 50 miles to go. The temperature was dropping, the light was descending, and my spirits were descending. But I suppose the title of that ride could be called The Spirits Were Spirit Crusher. Crushing spirits, but I kept the heat. What was the title of it? Yeah, I kept the head, and the punchline was we got this cracked helmet because after about 90 miles in, we fell off because the front light wasn't using these shitty lights, hadn't really charged up properly, so I couldn't really see the road properly, and then I hit a pothole. This was me absolutely exhausted doing the last 50 miles punch drunk. Hell on earth ride, really exhausted, low blood sugar, but it was just more tiredness in the legs, so it was really overextending ourselves. So you're a bit vulnerable, aren't you, when you overextend yourself in the training? So we were vulnerable. We couldn't see the road properly, hit a pothole, landed on the deck, blooded elbow, knee, and cracked the head off the floor, off the ground, off the road. And this is with 20 miles to go, in an absolutely exhausted state, not in a very good state. We couldn't really kick out the power, so what we did was we just got up straight away and we're like, all right, helmets. We didn't even look at the helmet, but the helmet's fucked. And no concussion. I'm still always wear a helmet, kiddies, and then we keep going, and then we get in and we go, that was the toughest 130-mile bike ride I've done in my entire life. Still managed the 275 miles for the week. So we're doing quite well, doing quite good. So I was saying before on my social media, I said I could easily do like 200 miles tomorrow solo, if just for a laugh, just do it, because I've done it before. Kind of like been there, done that. Well, been there, let's do it again. I could literally do it muscle memory. I could do 200. That's the state of fitness I'm in. But as I say, we were tired. That's why we struggled there. But nice bit of 3 days rest or whatever. And I think we're ready to step up mileage even more. So it's really quite good. The fitness is quite there. The motivation is there. Doing quite well. We're hitting the mileage targets, and need to get the gravel bike on the road soon to get out and start upping the gravel. You know, the base is really the road fitness, isn't it? Because all the top gravel riders, they're just roadies that are really fit, and then they transfer that to the road. So what we're doing now, continuing to build the fitness and want to build the fitness, then get gravel bike on the road, get out there, try and build the speed and the confidence and the skill on the gravel, and we'll get good at the gravel, and then fucking fly, can't I mean? Like, but look at these legs, fucking brilliant. Can't I should really drop my trousers and let you see them. My other trousers, I've ripped the pen behind here, I've ripped them at the knees. It's quite funny, so it's kind of like showing off my muscles, but why not? That's what happens, isn't it? You get to be like the big peacock, don't you, when you get fit and you go, yeah, I'm feeling really quite good about myself. So but that's the goal. We've got Gralic, Raiders and National Gravel maybe, and see if there's any other events that I can do. But that's what we're trying to do, get fit, and we've done a cracking mileage there last week. As I say, it was very, very unnecessary mileage that we did there. But we got round, we made it home. As I said, it was like a struggle just to get home. I'll give myself a fucking medal just for managing to cycle the last 50 miles in the state I was in. Punch-drunk 50 miles. I think anyone who's actually watched this will know what I mean. That's very, very difficult. But you give yourself a pat on the back, don't you? You go, fucking hell. I've still got the mental toughness and the determination and the character to be able to, actually more character than I used to have, because I think years ago I would have cracked up on a ride like that, but we didn't. And we didn't crack the head, did we? We kept the head, and let's keep the heat moving forward and increase the mileage, increase the speed, and then we'll go around, take two, do it all again. Let's go round again, maybe we'll turn by the hands of time. Let's go round again one more time. And we'll go around, do the same 130-miler route. And I think we'll fly, because we'll be properly rested up. And that's one of the lessons moving forward. Don't extend yourself. Don't overextend yourself. Don't do a hard turbo session and then overextend yourself with a big long ride. Like 3 days later, you're still not recovered. Graham McBrady's book talks about sometimes you need 4 days clear recovery after really punishing turbo sessions. So it's a difficult thing, isn't it? The whole training cycle. You know, the 7 days, it's more like 9-10 days, isn't it? Because how do you space things out to give yourself adequate recovery to reach the mileage targets and do the big distance while still doing the hard efforts? It's a fine line, but we learn, don't we? And I've learned a lot from that ride. We learned a lot there. We learned that I'm really quite motivated and we're doing really quite well. But just to ease off, maybe if we're going to do a big long ride and a big weekly mileage, we will not push it full effort with the interval session and the strength session on the turbo. We'll just do a kind of 75% effort, but fitter all the time. If anyone watches this, actually, that's a fucking, it's an achievement in itself these days, isn't it? All the content out there, but I'm not going to put a big cherry on top and beautifully present this. I'm just talking the beautiful words that I'm speaking about. You know, how we're moving on. We're doing quite well. Reaching the mileage targets. As I say, I was posted up another thing on Strava before about I did a comparison between the mileage that I did the same time last year versus this year, and it's chalk and cheese. It really is. we've gradually upped the mileage, and I'm looking at like just did 275 miles. That's not bad. Consistently improving, increasing the mileage. We're at 275 miles for last week. We'll drop it back a little bit because the next week will be the fallow week, but nevertheless, it being the fallow week, we'll still do the take two. We'll do the 130 again, and it'll be chalk and cheese. We'll fly around rather than struggling to get round. We'll make sure we're properly carbed up, properly rested, properly whatever, and onwards we go. And then we're going to start getting onto the gravel soon. But yeah, we've got a KOM as well, quite a quality KOM. Again, quite tough conditions. So that kind of is testament to the state I'm in, the level I'm at. Not a bad KOM to get in February in shitty, wet, windy conditions, So the motivation's there, so it's all relative, isn't it? You've got to go. I really think you've got to go out and do these punishing rides. Don't be scared of it. I've not shied away from any of that this year. I've knowingly put myself in really difficult conditions in order to increase, because it's like, right, just grin and bear it. And to finish, I'll just finish with this quote. In that last punishing, ridiculous ride, what I said, this ride might be the ride this year that proves to be the making of me. And indeed, when I look back, I might that actually might be, and then I might insert that little quote in a video in the future and say, yeah, I proved that to be the case. That was the ride that made me. It's fucking brilliant because as difficult as the ride was, we got round even when we didn't feel like, as I say, 50 miles of being punch drunk. And let's not do those type of rides very often. You want to have one of those type of rides once in a blue moon. We learned a wee lesson. Don't overextend yourself. Gradually, just let it simmer. Don't need to be pushing it too hard. We're doing the training. I'm doing everything I set out to do. So, we're going to start doing consistent. We're going to then get 250, 300 miles consistently every week now. Just getting the mileage in, and we're doing the hard turbo sessions. And see, when you're training hard, and you're really disciplined, and you keep training, time just flies by, and it won't be so long before the first event. So let's keep it going, keep the momentum. We've got the momentum, we've got the enthusiasm, we've got the passion, perseverance, determination, enthusiasm, and everything else. So there you go.